actually, I mean, when I first started investigating, I don't like to provoke ever. I mean, I'm just not very much of a provoker. But when I first started investigating, there was an instance where I did, and it wasn't. I don't know if it was for sure something paranormal, but I did feel like a shift where I was. I can't say exactly where the location was, but I felt a shift in the room, and then I felt like this really hot feeling go across my leg. It almost felt like something lashed me or something. And it was a really strange sensation.
What do you mean by lash?
It felt like
something lashed you.
I don't know. Just
like when they torture people overseas in other countries?
Yes. No, I mean, it just felt like this hot, like searing kind of pain across my leg. I mean, it was really strange, and I don't know if it was just something psychological or what, because other than that, nothing else happened, but it was enough for me where I was like, well, you know what, provoking is not for me, and I didn't feel like it was appropriate anymore after that, and I've never done it since, except for very slightly.
Nice. Provoking is definitely a technique that you have to implement strategically.
Yeah, I was a newbie, and I wasn't acting nice. I won't do it again.
You're still not nice. Nothing's changed.
I'm awful. I know. Terrible to work with.
You guys have had some guest investigators. Who was your favorite guest investigator? And who got scared and cried like a baby?
Our favorite guest investigator.
I think I know.
Who's your favorite guest investigator?
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf? He was so excited. He literally came up to me. He's like, I've seen every episode 3 or 4 times. I can't stop watching him. He knew everything about me, he knew everything about Amy, he knew everything about everybody. It didn't make sense. He knew my cat's names, he knew everything.
It's crazy. It was like probably one of the most surreal moments since I've done the show when Meatloaf was like, will you sign my K2?
Yeah, you saw my K2. So great. Every day you see him in the lobby. Are we going to go go-karting? Are we going to go get ice cream? Are we going to go... And it's Meatloaf, so cool.
He did take us all go-karting.
He did take us all go-karting, yeah. There's like 10 of us, and Meatloaf and his wife. Cruising around with the golf cart. Meatloaf, for me, was definitely, he was one of the nicest we met. We also had a gentleman, they've all been nice. We had a lot of people, Colin Ferguson, Eddie Clinton, made the tapping, a few different wrestlers, like the Mike the Miz guy. A lot of nice people, but we had a gentleman, a wrestler, his name was the Black Pope. He was a wrestler, a pretty popular one, but one of the nicest guys I ever met in my life, and was so cool and just very into what we were doing. And that was one of the live shows. He was a black dude with dreadlocks, just super nice and very cool and amazing. But
was there anybody that ran screaming like CM Punk?
Yeah, that wasn't CM Punk that ran screaming. That was the Black Pope that ran screaming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Literally, we were investigating, and a piece of wood just moved and made a crazy noise, and he literally just started running, jumping up and down as fast as he can. And he ran like a son of a gun. He really did. He was freaked out. But he was super cool. Meatloaf, I think, that was my favorite. Actually, Eddie McClintock was a lot of fun,
and he's
too.
so sweet.
I just ran into him, and he gets nicer every time I see him.
Yeah, he's so just down to earth, awesome guy.
Yeah, check out his show, Warehouse 13. It was funny. And I used to love this show called Start Reading Mad. Do you remember it? No, it was a great show with Neil Patrick Harris, and I was like, you look so not from Warehouse 13. He's like, well, did you ever see the show? I'm like, oh, of course. He was like, Neil Patrick Harris's best friend on that show.
He was in Bones, too, I guess, for a while.
Wow, look at him.
Yeah, no, you knew that.
Oh, hi. This is probably on your website or whatever, but how often do I get to ask you all a question? What is TAPS doing for Halloween this year? What kind of shows are we going to see for Halloween?
What is happening in Halloween? To be honest, I don't really know. I've heard rumblings that we may do a live show, but I have no idea. We literally don't know. Our schedule is open for it. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't.
We're always the last to know these things.
It's true. Amy, me, Tango, and we sort of at the bottom of the information trickling down.
We just go where they tell us.
Yeah, we just go where they tell us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think we're going to do something live. Like if it's not a big, it'll be maybe like something, but I think so. I think it'll probably work out.
Hi. How do y'all choose the locations you go to investigate?
She asked how we choose they come a lot of different ways. There's places that we want to do, that we, go after and sort of pitch to the production company. And there's places that they want us to do, that they ask us to do. Sci-Fi has places that they get leads and they think are pretty cool, but most of them, they come from us in our case files, and it comes a lot of different ways. It really does. There's a lot of filtration processes, like Pilgrim Films has to make sure it's accessible for television, make sure that it makes sense to film there, and make sure that people aren't a little, crazy, and we have to make sure it's okay for the camera roll stuff. Sci-Fi has to make sure it's okay, and it's just a lot of things.
Y'all ever get big fans that send in locations that they would like to have to investigate?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fans submitted, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. That's how we get at our cases, meeting people. And, sure.
Good morning. After investigating like private homes, at the end of almost every investigation, you always ask if you need further assistance, we'll come back. Have you ever gone back? And has anyone had to actually leave their private homes because they were terrified to stay? Thank you.
That's a good question, and we do go back to lots of cases. TAPS has a case right now that I'm working on for a few years, and we do lots of revisits. That was amazing. First I thought it was my cell phone. I'm like, am I a jerk? Did I leave my cell phone? What an asshole. What was the question? That music threw me for the loop.
Oh, we go back.
Oh, we go back
we go
all
back
the time.
and have people had to actually leave their homes because they were so terrified?
Yes, people, the case I just told you about with the Inhuman who went to the Motel 6, I got clergy involved, a bunch of different investigators, and they had to sell their home. And it's a law that you have to disclose that information. You have to say if your house is haunted, it has to be in the purchase and sales agreement of the property. And if they don't, you can go after people for that. So make sure if you live in a haunted house, you sell it. You tell the people are buying it.
There was a case I did before I did TAPS where the people were just terrified, and I kept saying, well, it's really not that bad. I mean, it was like they were hearing knocks every once in a while, and like their cupboard doors would open sometimes. It wasn't, I mean, I guess like, to some people that might freak them out, but this entire family was so terrified, and they ended up selling their house over it, just little things. It wasn't even anything that seemed really extreme. They didn't like the idea of there being something there they couldn't explain at all. So.
I can be honest with you, I don't know if I would. Like, I like to visit it, but I don't know if I'd want to live with it. That's for sure.
I mean, I don't know if I would go through anything like sell my house and stuff. It's just...
You just give it away?
Yes, I'd give away my house.
Take it, Tom, it's yours.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know what it would take for me to want to leave, I guess.
Want to buy my house? It's haunted. Just give it a miss. Pretty good shit.
I want to know, what would you say was the most chilling, verbal or non-verbal threat you've gotten from an entity?
Wow. Listen to that question. What was the most direct EVP, basically, you're asking? Something that just scared the crap out of us. Well, I do remember one time, Amy and Chris Bruni, Amy and Chris Williams, they actually walked it over to me in town, like, guys, we got some stuff here. We need you to really need you to help us out with it. And we heard from, that they've had some pretty serious activity going on. So we were really excited to go up and check it out. So Tango and I are like, of course we'll come. And I walk up first, and I walk in, and they're a little, I can't find them. Where's Amy and Chris? They're just walking. I heard their voices, and I know what's going on. And all of a sudden, there they are, jumping out, screaming, tackling me. It was horrible. They scared the crap out of me. It was one of the worst. And they're like, come help us. We gotta get to the bottom of this. I get up there, and I literally went number 2.
I had every tape the production tape, of course. And so I had that tape, and then I had, Tango had a mini DVD running, and me and Chris had a mini DVD running. So I had like every different angle of you going, like.
I did more than go.
No,
I had to change my drawer.
It was awful. And then he called us horrible names.
I still have problems sitting down.
He calls us little witches. You witches.
I did call you witches, and you deserved it that time.